DigiGears is my voxel-style deck-building adventure game, where you battle with other duelists in a board-style combat experience and explore a vast mountainous region. The problem is, well, the region looks like... You see, I had spent a huge amount of time focusing on the duel system as I prepared for the launch of my Steam page over the summer, but not enough time on the open world. Also, a quick reminder, you can wishlist DigiGears on Steam. Just click it. Go on, smash that button. Give that button emotional damage, it'll never... One level design decision I had made early on was to use the terrain tool, but I was being lazy and it just didn't sit well with the old eye test. So I scrapped the mountains, and did a complete 180 to go back to a voxel-style terrain. To give you a bit of a blueprint, the region is surrounded by 4 big mountains, which will tower above and below the different towns and cities in the region. Now, the next natural step for me after launching the Steam page is to build a demo. As part of the demo, the player will start off in Bushy Town, which is their hometown, and it's a town known for lush vegetation like its beautiful green trees. Next, we will complete the uphill path leading to Venturion, which is a small town known for its tourist agency and watchtower. Then we're going to move further upwards in a winding windmill path that leads to a town called Gardenew. Gardenew is a unique town built within a botanical garden, and the idea is that it would be home to some unique vegetation that you wouldn't find otherwise in such high altitudes. Now, to manage the scope, I plan to divide the region into sections with transitions between scenes, optimizing performance by avoiding the need to load the entire open world at once. Also, I want to make it as easy as possible for me to break it into a demo or scope in and out depending on how the project goes. First, I began by meticulously remodeling the trail path leading to Venturion using Unity's ProBuilder. This path now looks much cleaner than the older one I made with the terrain tool. Since the setting for the game is a mountainous region, I thought it would make sense to take advantage of the higher altitudes and give the player some nice views the further they ascend upwards. To further enhance the visual appeal, I decided to upgrade our trees using MagicaVoxel, each equipped with level of detail settings. This again ensures that the trees look stunning up close and maintain performance from a distance. Originally, I had decided just to make lower poly voxel trees to avoid having to do LODs altogether, but it damaged the overall appeal of my game. One takeaway for me here is that this really is a balancing act between visual appeal, aka graphics, and performance. For some of the more top-heavy trees, I wanted to have leaves falling down to create a more immersive environment. I used Unity's particle system to create these voxel leaves slowly gliding down from the trees, simulating the movement of real leaves. To keep this performant again, I only added the particle effect to the first LOD so that they only activate when the player is close by. After scrapping my previous terrain, I faced another problem, which slowed my game's development. I could no longer just drop and place trees everywhere, like I could with the terrain tool. I needed a custom editor tool to place objects on slopes efficiently. After a few iterations in Visual Studio, I built a drag and drop system that accounts for surface angles and camera view. This was and will be a massive help moving forward, as I no longer have to worry about rotating and moving around my objects so they don't look odd. With the new script ready, I went and placed all the new models I made in MagicaVoxel along the trail path. Taking a step back, earlier I mentioned there would be 4 big mountains which surround the region. One in the northeast, one in the northwest, and similarly southeast and southwest. Rather than just having the usual greyish granite look for all the 4 mountains, I decided that each mountain or set of mountains in the corners of the region would define the look of that area. So for instance, I went with a reddish-brown set of mountains in the northwest, then a more traditional grey granite mountain or set of mountains in the northeast. Now in the game, I've decided that both of these mountains will have higher peaks than the other 2, so the idea is that they will be partially covered in snow. For the southeast and southwest mountains, I made a design choice to have them closer to the ocean, so I went with lighter colours, something that resembles limestone for instance. Now I know this isn't necessarily realistic, but more of a stylistic design choice just before people tell me in the comments that there are indeed loads of great mountains near the oceans and, you know, mossy or grass covered mountains, but I just wanted to have that sort of setting in my game. And walking around as the player with these newly designed voxel mountains, you begin to feel the scale of the world. Additionally, I want the player to be very curious about what is in the different regions, and if everything looks bland and the same, then it's not really going to inspire that curiosity and engage the player to go and explore. Once I finished Trail Path, I simply blocked out Venturion, but I didn't finish it. Instead, I worked my way further up towards the Windmill path. Now, so far, I've been making all of the vegetation myself in MagicaVoxel, but I found these particular birch trees from this really cool asset pack and it fits the voxel style of my game really well. So I spread them out along Windmill path, which is surrounded by, well, these windmills I made. and they could probably also use an upgrade themselves, but maybe for the next devlog. And that's a nice segue for you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, a slight problem is that typically a lot of the asset packs are not optimized either enough or at all. For example, one of these trees in this pack has like 70,000-80,000 polygons. Multiply that by the open world equals your laptop exploding in your face.
Fire! Exclamation mark. Help me! Exclamation mark.
So I am currently making those myself, and it is a work in progress. For Windmill Path, I was aiming for more of a meadow look and feel, so I added a river that comes down the mountain surrounding the path. And the same nature asset pack I got actually had a voxelated water shader, which looks fantastic, so I decided to use it. I do have my own water shader, and I did decide to use it for water in the distance, which you can see behind some of the mountains when you look from the garden rooftops. I still need to work on Garden U, it is nowhere near finished, but I have an idea of how good this will look when the final version is done. Also, I used the cool mushrooms and mossy grass and bushes for this asset pack to build out the rest of the path. As the player goes up the path, I thought it would be interesting if they encounter a farm, which could feature a little side quest for the player. I modeled the farm and fences, and at this point I decided to pause and take a look at the progress, and I was very happy with how much better the path looked. Now, of course, this is not the end product, and I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm finally happy with the direction the game is heading from an art style perspective. And I'd like to hear from you as well. Drop a comment which mountain region are you most curious about. I'd be really eager to know, as your feedback will help me shape the game. I'm also conscious you haven't seen many NPCs yet. They're coming in the next devlog, I promise, once these environments are locked in. I'm really excited to show you some of the ideas I have here. One quick note on textures: I'm using pixelated materials to match the voxel aesthetic, which you may have already noticed. Some I got from the asset store, some I edited from the asset store, and others I made custom for variety. One good example are the snow-capped peaks that you see across the map. So that's where things stand for now. The world of DigiGears is finally starting to take shape. From the mountain paths and falling leaves to the towns tucked into the hills. It's been a lot of work, and there's even more to do, but starting to see everything come together is really rewarding and making the journey worth it. If you're interested in seeing the region come to fruition with all its mountains, towns, and paths, please consider wishlisting DigiGears on Steam. It really helps more than you might think. Also, part 3 of the devlog series is coming way sooner than the 4-month gap since July. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. And if you enjoyed this devlog, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to follow along as the game grows. Your feedback genuinely helps me improve every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and as always, drink some coffee, code, and I'll catch you in the next one.